YouTube, what is up? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards. Here talking about some 2020-2021 product. And what I hope is not a preview of things to come. Because, man, I just don't know anymore. So, NBA Hoops pre-orders went up a couple weeks ago now. They're $4.75 a box for a hobby box of NBA Hoops paper. Comes out in a couple weeks. I thought that seemed pretty high. I think last year's boxes were about $200 for a hobby box. I get it. Things have changed. I briefly considered maybe getting one to rip on the channel. And then I was like, it's hoops. I don't know. Seems kind of pricey for a paper product that's typically, a PSA 10 Zion is, $100, $150 maybe out of it. And, this class doesn't necessarily have the hype or the star power that last year's does. Though some players are playing well, but I was like, nah, you know what? I'll pass. Then the Donruss pre-order came up. Man, oh man. The Donruss Hobby Box pre-order has been wild times on the card market, social media. So that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to look at the price of Donruss Hobby Boxes and talk about it and just the comical nature of it. So before I forget, YouTube nonsense down below, like, comment, sub, all that jazz. All the links are down there to Amazon stuff, market movers, which we use quite a bit on the channel, all that jazz, star stock promo codes. Let's get into it. So Blowout puts up Donruss Hobby Boxes the other day. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. Pre-order price of, which they are not listed for sale right now because they are out of stock. The pre-order price was $1,200 for a hobby box of Donruss paper. Dramatic pause. The mic didn't cut out. I can't even believe they're charging $1,200 for Donruss paper hobby boxes. John Zion PSA 10s sell for about $150 each. Trae Young's like $200. Luka's like $400. That's your best case scenario. And I don't think there's a Luka in this class. The best thing to come out of these are the net Marvel cards. Last year sell really well, but it's the first year that they did them. Will this year's carry the same weight? And you pull one or two per box. And those do go for a pretty decent chunk of change. But still, if you get a bad player, you're kind of screwed. And I haven't looked at the checklist yet to see who's on the Marvels checklist. But so last night, there was some great back and forth on Twitter between mostly Bowman 1951 and Run Good Life. And I chimed in a little bit just about the prices of these boxes and how insane that it was. And how insane you are insane to buy one of these to open, unless you just want to literally light $1,200 on fire. It makes no sense to buy one of these to open. This is one of the biggest ripoffs I have ever seen. And we don't really know. I mean, ultimately, I guess it's Panini to blame for not enforcing any sort of guidelines on the distributors. Because we don't know if, we don't have the books. We don't know what Panini charges the distributor, what the distributor charges the LCS, and what the LCS marks up for us. Obviously, every person in the transaction is probably making a nice little cut on everything. But that doesn't happen with retail boxes. Walmart and Target sell a blaster for $20 because that's what Panini tells them that they have to sell it for, MSRP. But they don't do that on the LCS side, which part of me gets. Like, if I owned a local card shop and I sold Donruss hobby boxes at the $100 MSRP price or whatever they are, and people just literally walked out of my store and sold it on eBay for $1,500 or $1,200 or $1,000 or whatever, as an LCS owner, I'd be like, what am I doing? Why? What am I doing here? Like, this is dumb. But at the same time, there feels like there could be a better way for all this. And like I said, I don't know if it's how much of it's the distributors, how much of it's the LCS, and how much of it is ultimately it's Panini. Because if Panini came down from upon the mountain on high and said, hey, if you guys don't stop doing this, you're not getting product anymore. That'll probably never happen. But $1,200 for a box of Donruss Hobby is absolutely ridiculous. And that's what Run Good Life and Bowman 1951 were going on about. And Bowman 1951 had one. He's a great Twitter follow. He's a good YouTube channel too, but great Twitter follow. This was his tweet from last night. The Donruss Guide for Idiots. And we're going to take this a step further. You can buy 15 Zion rookies, 12 Tatums, 10 Trays, and 9 Jaws, and still be at the price point of one 2020-2021 hobby box. Get it now. Because he was trying to they were trying to make a point that you're an idiot for buying this, to ripping it, because there's no way you're getting your money's worth out of it. So I took it one step further, and I mean, you could kind of go down the laundry list. Like, so I recently did that mail day video where I bought the purple Jaw optic PSA 10. It's like pop 200. Those are $500 to $600 cards. You could buy 2 of those for one of these boxes. What would you rather have? A LaMelo Ball paper PSA 10? Maybe a 9. Who knows? If you even pull a LaMelo. Or a pair of optic Jaw PSA 10s. Like, what are we doing? So I pulled up Market Movers and I looked up Donruss paper PSA 10. So here's my version of what Bowman 1951 did. I took it a step further and said, hey, let's go with PSA 10s. He went with just raw. I mean, this list is crazy. Look at this. 12 Tatums, 15 Zions, 10 Trays, 9 Jaws. Or one box of 2020-21 hobby. That, okay, you're going to pull a couple rookies out of. There's a handful that are worth a damn. Maybe you pull 1 or 2 net marvels. Okay. Good luck on getting a Luka or a LeBron, and who knows how much they're going to go for, because this isn't the first year for him anymore. Last year was. So I took it a step further and wanted to look at PSA 10s. So here's my list. You can get 2 Ja Morant PSA 10s, 2 Tatum PSA 10s, 1 Trey PSA 10, and 2 Zion PSA 10s for the price of one Donruss 2021 hobby box. What the hell are they thinking? Charging $1,200 for this? Can the market sustain this? I thought $400 to $500 was high for hoops, but it's what I kind of expected. Donruss paper and hoops paper, because there's premium stock hoops now, of course, are very close to the same product when it comes to base cards and their selling price. Like if you run charts on hoops and Donruss, they go for about the same. So Donruss, 1 auto, 1 mem, 60 inserts and parallel. Hoops, 2 autos, 24 inserts and parallels. So you're trading 1 auto for double the inserts and parallels. And yes, Donruss does have the net marbles, which is probably the best thing you can pull out of it. Crunch Time looks cool, but they've never been super trendy. Net marbles are good, but here's the sell sheet. So you got autos, but you can get autos out of hoops. So these are the net marbles. They're cool, but once again, not the first year for these. And Crunch Timer Hobbies exclusive, and those are fine. They're cool looking cards, but they were in last year's set. Cards look fine, but once again, paper. And you have the lasers and the parallels and stuff. But $1,200 a box for Donruss 2021 right out of the chute is insane. Absolutely insane. So what do you guys think? Obviously, I mean, Blowouts posted that they're sold out. And of course, there were people that had cheaper pre-orders out there for like 500, 400. I think there was one for 300 I saw for 299. And of course, Blowout posts for 1200 and all those disappear. And there's reports on the Blowout forums and some other social media of people now getting their pre-orders canceled that had pre-orders locked in at the lower prices because Blowout set the new floor price essentially with this $1,200 price point. So I'll be very curious to see when they repost this what the price is. Did they catch so much flack for 1200 that they pulled it, or did they put a couple up at 1200 to test the waters to see if it would fly? But 1200 out of the chute for this year's basketball product is ridiculous. If Donruss paper is $1,200, what the hell do you think Prism's going to be for a hobby box? Football was what, $2K for a first off the line, I think, or was it $2K for a regular hobby box? I don't remember. But basketball sells for more than football. Is it going to be like $3,000 for a hobby box of Prism, like right out of the gate? For a class that we really aren't sure about yet. Sure, LaMelo's been fine, but he can't shoot. Like, he's not like Ja Morant coming out of the draft. And you don't have Zion. You don't have the hype of this class. There's some good players in it, and there's going to be some good players in it, but you don't have a Ja or Zion, and you don't have a Luka and a Trey just tearing the league apart like those two classes did. So to expect $1,200 for a hobby box out of the chute is just insane. Insane. I don't know who's buying it at this price. Is it just breakers? Is it just people doing breaks? Because if you had $1,200 to spend on a hobby box, I could think of other product I would rather buy. For $1,200, I would rather go buy, and a lot of people don't even know that these exist, the Status T-Mall boxes from 1920 that came out right before the season started for last year's stuff. They're like $250 a box. I would rather buy 5 of those than this. I would rather buy the, and I know people have had really mixed luck on these, but I would rather buy the Hoops Hybrid Hobby Premium boxes or whatever the hell they're called. I ripped one on the channel that I pulled the Ja Redemption out of. I would rather rip one of those. At least it's John Zion rookies and it's premium stock cards and numbered parallels and stuff versus paper crap. I mean, the paper just doesn't carry that much value. People want Chrome cards when it comes to basketball. So to charge a premium price for Donruss out of the chute is insane. I get that the price could go up to $1,200 like after the fact once supply dries up, and if the class is good enough to justify it, but neither of those two things have happened yet. So I mean, I don't think this is like a red flag for the hobby, like eating itself and bubbles crashing and all that jazz. But I will just be curious to see how the market handles if this price sticks a $1,200 Donruss box and spinning it forward. What the hell does a box of Select cost this year, or Optic, or some of the bigger sets? Select, Optic, and Prism are the 3 big ones, especially on the hobby boxes. Last year Mosaic Hobby launched at $650. What the hell is that going to be when it comes out? $2,000 for a box of Mosaic Hobby? Because it sure as hell isn't going to be cheaper than a box of Donruss if this $1,200 price sticks. So I'm hoping people don't buy this shit at $1,200. I doubt that's going to happen because it's the new product and people are going to want to rip something with the players in their NBA jerseys. Hoops is first. We'll see how that goes, but Hoops is a lot cheaper. And now Hoops looks like a bargain at $500. I would much rather rip Hoops at $500 than freaking Donruss at $1,200. The base rookies sell for the same practically. So just don't. Please don't. Unless you're literally just made of money and you want to just light. This is literally lighting money on fire. Especially from my perspective of, taking sports cards as more of the investment side of things. I get that there's fun in ripping. Hell, I bought the box of Hobby Hybrid to rip on the channel. I said going in, this is probably going to be for a loss. I'm just doing this for something fun as a Christmas gift to myself. You're really stupid to rip wax 99% of the time. And I pulled the Ja Redemption. So, hey, it is what it is. Shit happens. But $1,200 for Donruss paper. My Lord. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like I said, I just don't know where this goes. I don't know what precedent this takes. And the thing is, which Run Good Life and Bowman 51 we're talking about this, is that this puts downward pressure on retail. Like the retail craze is already absolutely out of this mind, like out of this world. It's just nuts. It's just craziest nutso thing ever. Every day I open Facebook, I'm in a billion sports card Facebook groups. It's just picture after picture of 20 guys lined up in an aisle waiting on the vendor to get their 2 boxes of Prism like it's rations, at a prison camp or something. And because you could get a blaster for $20 or a mega box for $50. When that's the alternative to $1,200 boxes of Donruss, yeah, people are going to keep fighting for the retail. So that it just makes the retail feeding frenzy even crazier because it's the best priced product if you could buy it straight off the shelf. And like I said, good luck with that in 2021. It's only getting worse. The retail game is only getting worse. The stores around me have digital line queues. They have limits of 1. There's more and more reports every day of stores putting it behind glass, like a freaking PlayStation 5. There's more reports every day. I just saw posts today on Facebook of what used to be the card aisle now filled with Valentine's Day candy and like one little section of cards now. It used to be 5 6-foot sections or whatever those are. And now it's like half of one of those. And the rest is all Valentine's Day candy or chips or whatever, because the stores get sick of dealing with this. And this is just going to ramp that pressure up on retail even higher if these prices stick. So, we're not big about ripping wax around here on this channel. That's not my way of going about this. I would much rather have the $1,200 and go buy singles any day of the week. But I get it. Ripping is fun. Buying in the breaks are fun. And sometimes that's what you want. But at $1,200 a box, like, could you imagine buying in the Donruss breaks? It's not going to be cheap to get some freaking Donruss paper. It's absolutely insane. So that's all I got for you guys today. So I feel like both my last video was an eBay rant and this one's a Donruss hobby box rant. So, hopefully the next one will be less ranty. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys. YouTube nonsense down below. Like, comment, sub, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.